Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing us how to go about the making of this structured cape, which you can also serve as a sleeve. A detachable structured cape, which means that it can be removed and it can be attached to a dress. Without further ado, let's just get started. We are going to need the following measurement: shoulder to shoulder measurements in the length of the cape. The thickness of the paper to determine the length of your cape, and you are going to multiply it by 2. So I have 10 inches multiplied by 2, I have 20 inches altogether. And for the height, I have 14 inches. This includes the shoulder to shoulder measurements. When drafting this pattern, your paper has to be on fold, or you draft on a single paper. When you want to transfer to your fabric, you place your fabric on fold. So the first thing I'm going to do on my pattern paper is to draw a straight line in the middle. Then I'm going to indicate the front and the back. The next thing is to measure upward 10 inches from this edge of this paper, like so. I'm going to measure 10 inches, then I'm going to connect with a straight line. I'll come to this middle line and I'm coming down by 4 inches. So after that, you measure 2 inches on both sides of this line, like so. Mark it and connect with a straight line. And the next thing you want to do is to measure 2 inches diagonally, just like you see me doing, on both sides of this line. Mark it and connect with a straight line. It's going to give you a slant line, like so. After this, now you're going to connect from here back to this point on both sides of this line, and you are going to have something like this. After connecting the points, you come to this point here, this line, this 4 inches line, and you measure half of your shoulder measurement. So if your shoulder to shoulder is 16 inches, you mark 8 inches. If it is 14, you mark 7 inches. Then you are going to connect straight down, like so. So you can simply cross check what you have there and you mark it like so. And this point that we have here is going to be our center back line, and we are going to be cutting it on fold. Now we are going to take the cape length on all of these lines that we have. So I have 10 inches. I'm going to measure 10 inches on this line as well, and on all the 4 lines that I have. So I realize that the paper is a bit wider than the measurement that I need, so I'm going to reconnect. Now I've marked out the measurement that I need, and this extra space is going to be trimmed off. So after this, now you can connect with a curve, or you just leave it straight like this. So that'll be all for the pattern. What I'm going to do now is just to cut out my pattern, and I want us to pay close attention to the way I'm going to be cutting it out. So I'm going to be cutting out the excess first. Remember I said I have excess on this pattern. I'm going to be cutting the pattern following the lines that you have. Okay, exactly how it is. Just watch closely how I'm going to be cutting this out. So guys, after cutting, you should have something like this. Then this side is going to be on fold, it's going to continue, and it's going to be the back, the center back. So the front is going to be falling to the front and the back is going to be at the back. So by the time you cut it out, this is how it's going to be looking like. All right, there will be an extension here which is going to extend to the other side. So if you drag this on fold, it is going to be clear enough, because you are going to have a full pattern. So after this, I'm going to transfer this to the fabric. You place the fabric and the lining together and cut exactly like what you have on the paper. Then you add your stitching allowance all around. I've already done that, and this is what I have. So I folded my fabric and lining into 2. Then I added stitching allowance of 1/2 inch all around my pattern, like so, as you can see. If you want to make it reversible, that means you're going to be using 2 different kind of fabric or 2 color of fabric. But this one, I'm just going to be using main fabric and the lining. You're going to cut your interfacing and you add it to both the lining and the fabric. Ideally, you're supposed to have your interface on the main fabric and on the lining. If you want to make it an ordinary cape without structure, just add your normal interface on both the lining and the fabric. For the purpose of this tutorial, I just added interface to the lining because it's just for the purpose of this tutorial. I'm not going to be wearing it. So now we are going to start by stitching this side. So we are going to be doing an inseam sewing, meaning that we are going to be sewing fabric separately and lining separately. Arrange your fabric like so, just like I just did now, and you stitch down this side using your added seam allowance. Whatever you do on the main fabric, you are going to repeat the same process on the lining. So guys, I'm done sewing, and this is what it's going to look like. I purposely use a contrasting thread so that we'll see the sewing line. Now the next thing now is to secure this opening that we have here. You are not going to be sewing like this shape. You are going to open it up like this, place it on each other, arrange it on each other, and you sew it straight like this with your added stitching allowance. Same thing on the lining. I'm done sewing it, and this is what it looks like. You should have something like this by the time you're done. It's going to be having like a square shape, and you're going to be having just one opening at the front. So if you don't want this sharp edge, you can simply trim it off. So now we are going to be placing the lining and the fabric together because we want to have an inseam sewing. Now I'm going to be placing the right side of the lining on the right side of the fabric. Make sure you align the shoulder area like so. Secure it with a pin if needed. Align all the fabric and the lining all round. If you want it to have a proper structure, instead of just having your normal stay on your fabric, you are going to be adding a hard interface on the lining. So it can be your hard stay, collar stay, peplum stay, or your crinoline mesh, or even a boning, just to give you that structure that you needed. So I'm going to stitch around with 0.5 stitching allowance, and I'm going to be opening up this lining with about 1 or 2 inches so that we'll be able to turn it inside out. Remember the way we used to do our inseam finishing. So I'm just going to stitch down all around. I'm going to notch the bottom points and give it a proper press. As you can see, this contrasting thread is making it easier for us to see. So I'm going to notch these two points. Remember that on our pattern we have this sharp corner, so you are going to notch it so that that point is going to relax. So I'm going to be bringing it out from this space that we left earlier, the 1 or 2 inches space. So once you turn it inside out like this, push out all the corners and close up the space that you have there using your thread and needle, or you just iron it flat, or you use a hemming gum to close that part. So guys, after which I'm done with all that, I give it a proper press, and this is what we have at the end of the day. So you can rock this with a ready to wear, you can rock it with a casual wear with your ashwebi and so on like that. Just be creative about it. So you're going to be attaching a fastener, that is your press button, to the shoulder area so that you'll be able to fix it to your dress because it is detachable cape. All right. So guys, thank you very much for watching this tutorial. Do not forget to give it a thumbs up, click on the like button, drop your comments, subscribe to the channel, and please turn on your notification bell so that whenever I drop a new video, you'll be the first person to know. To the new and the old viewers and subscribers, thank you very much. Till we meet again in my next one. Bye bye and take care of yourself. Thank you.